Hello, my name is Lady Jast. They always say elections have consequences. I didn't believe that until the world was hit with a deadly virus. This is truth in politics. Today, we will answer the question as to which of the two main political parties in Ghana is a nation builder and which is the nation wrecker. I will do so by announcing highly credible pieces of information that we at Truth in Politics have unearthed. Recently, officials bearing Ghana Revenue Authority's credentials have been going around in Kumasi closing people's shops under the guise that they owe taxes. Why Kumasi, you may ask? It's simple. They remember how taxi drivers in Kumasi refusing to vote and asking their friends and loved ones to also refuse to vote in the 2008 elections kept Ashanti region's numbers down and helped to elect Professor Mills as president. Now in 2020, the NDC is planning a series of activities in the Ashanti region, the MPP stronghold, to cause disaffection for the MPP in order to keep their voting numbers down in the hopes of repeating what happened in 2008. So last month, they began with illegally closing people's shops down. The regional minister was tipped off, and when he investigated the matter, it turns out that no such order had been given to close people's shops down. Truth in Politics is also aware that elements within the NDC who work at the ECG are planning to unleash doomsday, which is what they know best, on residents of the Ashanti region beginning from the 1st of November to achieve the same purpose of disaffection. Remember the tape of the NDC chairman promising to unleash violence in Ghana to make the country look unsafe and insecure? Not surprisingly, we have MPs being killed and checks issued by an NDC parliamentary candidate found on the suspected killer. Look, what is becoming increasingly clear is that one party concerns itself with nothing else other than malicious ways of influencing minds to win an election. And between now and December 7th, they will try anything, including wrecking this country, just to create conditions that they hope would make people vote for them. But Ghanaians have wised up. They can smell a rat from the NDC's Adrapaka headquarters from a mile away. While the NDC engages in nation wrecking, let's see what the MPP under the Nadu Dankwa Akufo-Addo has done and is doing to not only transform our dear country, but to keep you and I and every Ghanaian alive during this deadly pandemic. Today as we speak, countries which have historically been effective at combating pandemics or facing healthcare challenges are struggling to contain this coronavirus pandemic. But Ghana, under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has managed this pandemic in an exemplary fashion. Right from the beginning, Nana Addo set the tone for the world to follow when he declared in a statement that reverberated around the world that we know what to do to bring our economy back to life. What we do not know how to do is to bring people back to life. Here's how the world reacted to that leadership by Nana Addo while the nation workers were busy criticizing every move he made to save our lives. Thank you for sending such a powerful message to the world, my brother Nana Akufo-Addo, President of Ghana. Together for a healthier, safer, fairer world. Together against COVID-19. That's from the Director General of World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom. Piers Morgan says President of Ghana perfectly spells out the bottom line. Nana Addo Dankwa went on to compose a team of experts and scientists to manage the most serious health crisis this world has ever faced in our lifetime. He provided constant and periodic updates on the management of the pandemic and used the occasion to provide leadership on the do's and don'ts depending on the situation. In all, he provided 18 national addresses to keep us all informed on the pandemic. He invested in infrastructure, building a dedicated COVID-19 hospital in 10 weeks when some of the more developed countries couldn't do so. He provided free electricity and free water to all of us because he knew the world economy had been devastated and people stuck at home could not go out to work for their living. He even provided food to the needy. Everyone who needed to be fed was fed, instead of others who typically provide only to their party members. And because of the Nanado's leadership, today we are safer than many other countries around the world. Look at these numbers and how we compare with the rest of the world. Around the world, 2.8% of all COVID-19 patients die from the virus. In contrast, 0.6% or less than 1% of Ghana's COVID patients die because of the effective handling of the Nanado administration. Around the world, 74.6% of all COVID-19 patients recover from the virus. In contrast, here in Ghana, 98.5% or almost everyone recovers because of the effective handling by the Nanado administration. Around the world, percentage of active cases is 22.6%, which means 23 out of 100 who contracted the virus still has it. In contrast, here in Ghana, only 0.8% or less than 1 out of 100 people who contracted the virus still has it because of the effective handling of the Nanado administration. In fact, according to China's Ckers Research Institute, Ghana under Nanado was the third best in the world in handling the COVID-19 pandemic. But after keeping us all safe and well in this pandemic, the NDC has now trained their sights on the $150 that arriving passengers pay for the government to ensure that people do not import the virus to the country. But you listen to what one traveler had to say.
Coming from London through Amsterdam to Accra, I would say my experience in Accra was the most exceptional, and I was very, very impressed with how everything was handled at Kotoka. Right from the time we came out of the plane, there were staff all around giving us direction as to where to go. Where our temperature was being taken right at the edge of the plane, and then we escorted to where we will make the payment to go and get our COVID test. Of course, I was aware that I had to pay, in my case, £120. So I was ready for it. But there we just queued, and within 5 minutes we had gone and made the payment. And then after, we were directed to go and take our COVID test. After the test, we were also directed to go to the immigration. But before you get to the immigration, the health officials were there. You walk up to them and they will tell you your results, whether you're positive or negative. In that queue, I spent about 5 minutes. When it got to my turn, my results was not ready. But they didn't hold me there. They allowed me to go get my bag and go to the next health officials that were behind the immigration. So I went through immigration, got my bag, and went and waited. I waited there for another 3-4 minutes, and my results was in. It was negative, and I was out. I went through customs, and I was out. The whole thing took me about 35 minutes, maximum 40 minutes. There was no fuss at all. Everything was smooth. That was impressive. We didn't get that in London. In London, they just ask you whether you've got your COVID test, which almost all the airlines were asking, irrespective of where you were flying to. The fitness to fly test seemed to be universal. Without that, they will not even fly you. I had done mine. It costed me £150 in the UK.
And because of the bold decision made about arriving passengers, look at the daily new cases of coronavirus in the country after the Kotoka International Airport was opened. You see, new cases have remained so low. The bottom line is, in every sphere of our development, you will find that one party, the MPP, is always busy effecting positive change, while the other, the NDC, with no ideas to develop Ghana, spends all its time tearing things down or baselessly criticizing. Here's the big difference you need to know going to the 2020 elections. In 2016, the opposition MPP went to Volta region not to cause distraction, but to sell their ideas and plan to the government stronghold to convince the people of Volta region that if they vote for MPP into power, they would develop their region for them. This is nation-building mentality. Now in 2020, what do we have? The opposition NDC is in Ashanti region, the ruling party stronghold, not to sell their ideas and future plans for the people of that region. Instead, they are there to cause distraction in the hopes of inciting the people of Ashanti region to either vote against the ruling MPP or not vote at all. And that, my fellow Ghanaians, is the main difference between the MPP and the NDC. The MPP is a nation-building party, whereas the NDC has proven to be a nation-wrecking party. Please be sure to visit our social media handles, like and subscribe to our pages. My name is Lady Jast, and this has been, as usual, Truth in Politics.